Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste and good morning, everybody. I'm especially thankful to the organizers who have worked tirelessly to make this happen this morning. So I think I'm grateful to them, and we are all grateful to them to have put this together in such a short period of time, and so nice for such a beautiful hall. And I think this is my first visit to IIT Delhi. I can't recall having been here earlier, so I'm very glad to be with you this fine Sunday morning. Spirituality comes in various flavors. There are different paradigms, different approaches to spirituality. Today, you can see the subject is an inquiry into the I am, into the self. That's one kind of spirituality. It's helpful to distinguish it from other kinds of spirituality. To understand exactly what we are going to do, it's good. One way of understanding is to understand what it is not. How is it different from other forms of spirituality? One form of spirituality we are all familiar with, very common. That is the theistic approach, the devotional approach, the bhakti approach, where we are told that there is a God, typically omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, the creator of this world, all-powerful, controlling everything. And if you want to be spiritual, if you want liberation, moksha, salvation, whatever it is, then you have to have faith in God and devotion to God, worship God, surrender to God. This is one model of spirituality. And it's very common throughout the world. This is one kind. But remember, this kind of spirituality is entirely based on faith. In fact, in the United States, instead of religion, the word that is commonly used is faith. Why? I was just thinking, why? Because in the West, in the US, in Europe, in the Middle East, religion and faith are synonymous. Religion means you believe in something. That's why it's correct to use the word faith for religion. But there are other forms of religion which need not be faith-based, which we'll come to. The problem with this approach is, if you don't believe, especially in an audience like this, young people who are engineers. I've noticed one thing among engineers, why these Vedanta talks are often more popular among engineers in engineering colleges. So engineers like to understand things. They like to understand how things work. They like to take things apart and then put it back together, so you know what's the inner working. Now, if you say you have to believe it, how do I know that these things are true? What religion tells me? Maan lo. If you say just believe it, often there might be a lot of people who may not want to believe it. Especially it is said in this day and age, in today's age, there have never been so many atheists and agnostics as there are today. In the entire history of humanity, there have always been people who did not believe. Always. But now, there are very large numbers of people who might say, I don't believe in religion, or who might say, I'm undecided, atheist or agnostic. Another model, another paradigm of spirituality is what one might call the yogic approach to spirituality. It is an experience-based approach. Vivekananda became famous for that. How did the young student Narendranath Datta become Swami Vivekananda? He went around asking in late 19th century Calcutta, Sir, have you seen God? Not, does God exist? Do you believe in God? No. Have you seen God? And we know the story how Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said affirmatively, yes, I have seen God, just as I see you even more clearly. And if you follow these in this way, if you do sadhana, you will also be able to see God. So there is this other approach to spirituality, not just believing in something, but there is something, some practice that one can do and actually get an experience, God experience, or the experience of our real nature, self. Vivekananda says, if God exists, we should be able to see God, or experience God at least. If I have an immortal soul, if it's true, I should be able to experience it, feel it. So, for example, something like the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. There you will see It's not a question of believing in something. So this is a question of experiencing that you are this limitless consciousness, which is called the Purusha there. So sit in this way, breathe in this way, withdraw your senses from the world in this way, turn inwards and focus, meditate and attain samadhi in this way. And the claim is, in these extraordinary states of the mind, you will get extraordinary mystical experiences which will prove to you the claims of religion. So that's the mystical experiential model. And that became very popular in the 20th century. Most of the New Age religious movements in the West are sort of experiential in nature, quote unquote. But there's a problem with that also. The problem is, you may think you are experiencing it, but you may be mistaken. It could be that, all throughout history, the great mystics, what was the reaction of common people to these mystics? That you are crazy. You are mad. Even Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when he claimed that he was having a vision of Kali, most people in Dakshineshwar and neighboring areas, they called him the mad priest of the Kali temple. So crazy. Today, we are more polite. Neuroscientists will not say you're crazy. They'll say that crazy is not the right word these days. There's a new word, neurodiverse. So you'll say you're neurodiverse. or more likely, you'll say you are, there was this most famous TED talk. A lady who's a brain scientist herself, or a doctor, she had a stroke. And then she felt one with the universe. I've forgotten her name, but if you look it up, right, okay. And her book and her TED talk became very popular. So is she one with the universe? No, she feels that she is one with the universe. And that's because of a stroke in the brain. So someone might say, we don't doubt you're seeing light, or you think you're seeing God, or you're feeling one with the universe. But it's just because, it's not that you're seeing God. It's not that you're one with the universe. It's just because you have had a stroke in the brain, some kind of malfunction is going on. There's bleeding in this part of the brain, or a tumor, and that's what is causing it. Or even more common, simply, you're hallucinating. Or, what is very common where I live, that's in New York, if you go out after 5 o'clock in the evening, many people are having spiritual experiences. Because, especially after they legalized marijuana, maybe. So literally, you step out of the ashram, outside the ashram, more spirituality than inside the ashram. So, if you claim special experiences, it's true that there are genuine mystical experiences. That's all how the great mystics of the world, But one could be mistaken, and one could doubt it. Why do people doubt it? Because we are not sharing that experience. Only that mystic is having that experience. The rest of us are not having that experience. So we will immediately label it as something abnormal. Could be a brain problem, could be drugs, could be a mental illness, whatever it is. But it's not normal, it's not real. We can label it that way. It can be doubted. Just because you're experiencing, it may not be true. In contrast to these two approaches, there's the third approach which we are going to talk about today, the I am, the inquiry, spiritual philosophical inquiry into ourselves. Where, number one, we are not asked to believe in anything. Number two, we are not even talking about any extraordinary experience. We will confine ourselves to the quotidian, daily experience which we all have all the time. I mean, after all, who does not experience waking, dreaming, sleeping? We all experience waking, dreaming, sleeping. So the jnana approach, the approach of knowledge, the approach of inquiry, bases itself on reason and on shared experience, on publicly shared experience. We all have these experiences. So it's somehow, for at least a certain class of people, it's very convincing. It's much more convincing than, say, a purely devotional, faith-based approach, or a purely mystical, experience-based approach. Though those are valid, very much valid. Remember, we're not cutting down those approaches. But we are focusing now on this I am, inquiry into reality. Specifically, inquiry into the I am. Why? The claim in Advaita Vedanta, which is a major school of Vedanta, the claim is there is an ultimate reality of the universe, which is non-dual Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss, variously spoken of as Sat, Chit, Anand, existence, consciousness, bliss, and so on. But the crucial teaching is, you are that. I am that. The Tattvamasi, you are that. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that. Now, what we are going to talk about, what is talked about, what is taught in the Advaita Vedanta approach, that is not something far away. The spiritual journey in Advaita Vedanta is not a journey in space. It does not say that you have to go from earth to heaven. It's not a journey in time. It does not say that you have to wait until death, then after death you will see God or heaven or whatever. It says no. What we are talking about, the Atman or Brahman, is present everywhere, not separated from you by space. It's present all the time, not only then, but now. And it's not something separate from us. We're talking about you, our own nature. In Hindi, they say apna apa, your very own self. So what we are going to talk about is present all the time, everywhere, and it's literally you. It's literally me or you. Therefore, the inquiry into ourselves. Why inquiry? Again, think about it. Why inquiry? Why not meditation? Why not devotion? Why not faith? Why not social service? Why inquiry? Because if this Atman or Brahman, our own self, if it is present all the time, if it is present everywhere, it's present now, it's present here, it is you, then why don't we all experience it? Why don't we all realize it? Why isn't it a reality for all of us? And the answer is, it's right here, right now, but it's as if veiled by ignorance, just not knowing, not seeing, not realizing. And if it's ignorance is the problem, if it's that we don't know it, then the answer is always knowledge. Answer for ignorance is always knowledge. In any case, whatever you're doing, the whole institute is based upon this principle. The historian who wrote that book, Sapiens, Yuval Noah Harari, he said something, he says whatever is known, he just says that only, but he puts it in with such a spin, it becomes very interesting. He says the beginning of science is ignorance. What do you mean? So science is based upon ignorance. Why? Until the idea of modern science was clarified in our heads, until that time, we thought we knew certain things. It's only when we realized that we don't really know, then inquiry started. So science comes from first of all, the appreciation, taking ignorance seriously. Then only inquiry starts. If it is true that I am Atman, Brahman, limitless consciousness, I am not the body, not the mind, if it is true, then I must say, I don't know it. Then I must inquire. Why inquire? All knowledge comes from inquiry. Where does knowledge come from? Inquiry. One must ask, at least ask Google. So, inquiry first. So, inquiry into what? Into the self, into the I, into myself. So, this is the background. From here, we go about 300, 400 years back into history in France. We go to the philosopher Descartes. Now, many people may not be interested in philosophy, but Descartes is somebody all of us who have gone through school in any part of the world, we have studied, because he is responsible for the Cartesian coordinate. We all studied x-axis, y-axis, and all that. But he was also a philosopher, scientist, mathematician, philosopher, and he was worried about knowledge. How to put knowledge on firm foundations. Because everything seemed to be open to doubt. So how to put it on firm foundation? How can you be sure that what you know is right? That what you know cannot be challenged? How to make knowledge firm? So he started his famous project of Cartesian doubt. That he started what can be doubted. And he found everything can be doubted. What we are seeing, we say, by seeing, this is the proof. You are all existing. This is the proof that you exist because I see you. But it can be doubted. You could be dreaming. You could be hallucinating. How do you know that this is real? So everything, scientific knowledge, perceptual knowledge, inferential knowledge, and certainly religious knowledge, all of it could be doubted. But we all know, what conclusion did he come to? He found one thing which can never be doubted. And that is the self. He said that his famous cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I exist. The fact that I'm doubting proves that at least I am there, the one who is doubting. Suppose you can doubt the existence of anything, but try doubting yourself. The very fact of doubting will prove your own existence. Do I exist or not? Well, this question I cannot deny. That question came into my mind. So I exist as the doubter of these doubts, as the thinker of these thoughts. I think, therefore I exist. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. That is the literal translation. It's not just a question of thinking. You can say, I love, therefore I am. I imagine, therefore I am. I write, therefore I am. Basically, the self is indubitable. This much is, in philosophy, generally you don't have progress. Same problem which worried, Vyasa and Kapila and Socrates and Plato, the same problems philosophy department till now they're struggling with. But sometimes there is progress. So this is a solid piece of philosophical reasoning. Cogito ergo sum. My own existence, I am, cannot be doubted. And Shankaracharya also came to this conclusion about 700, 800 years before Descartes. He says, Yaeva tasya nirakarta tasyeva atmasa. Whoever denies the existence of the self, it is the self of the same denier. Just by the act of denying its existence, you have proved its existence. So one's own self cannot be denied. It is impossible to deny it. It's a solid piece of reasoning. It is indubitable. The I am is indubitable. You cannot challenge it, you cannot deny it. Not only is it indubitable, but something more can be known about it. This more can be known about it. Let me just refer to Descartes' own words. He came to the conclusion, my own existence cannot be challenged. It's indubitable. But then he said, I exist, surely. But what do I know about this self, this I, which exists? I don't know anything about it. He writes, it is passing strange that which I am absolutely sure of, I don't know anything about it. And that which I know so much about, I cannot be sure of it. What do I know so much about? The world, including the body. I know so much about these things, and what Descartes knew 300 years ago, we know much more now. We know so much about these things, but everything is open to doubt. One thing Descartes said cannot be doubted, your own existence, you, the self, the psychological self. But we don't know anything about it. What is it? Hume, the Scottish philosopher, he said, when I search for the self, so-called self is there, we all exist self, when I search for it, I find nothing. I find a stream of thoughts, memories, perceptions, judgments, but no self. Why is it that Descartes says, I'm sure of it, but I don't know anything about it? Why is it that when Hume searches for it, he cannot find it? Because Vedanta tells us, not because the self is not there. Surely it is there. But it is not where you're looking for it. It's not an object. It's not a physical thing which can be seen or heard or smelt or tasted or touched or probed with scientific instruments. It's not a physiological thing. It's not even a mental thought or percept or emotion or memory. It's the subject. It's entirely non-objective. Our whole thinking, for very good reasons, is such that the world must be an objective world. And there is good reason for this, because this is how science functions. But when you try to study the subject, and because of our tendency to objectify everything that we study, we try to make the subject into an object. That's why you see the tremendous difficulty in modern consciousness studies. Because anything subjective is immediately disregarded. You must have some objective standard. And that creates its own problems. Consciousness studies, a big subject, hot subject now. In fact, Oxford University Press, a few years back, published 5 great questions in philosophy. Out of those 5 questions, 4 were related to consciousness. In the whole field of philosophy, they say this is one way, it's one choice of 5 questions. But what were the questions? The questions were like, do I have free will? Related to mind and consciousness. What is death? Not physical death, that's a medical question, but death of the self. That's also related to mind and consciousness. Then there was another question, who am I? Directly. So what am I or who am I? Also related to mind and consciousness. And there was one on, I think, global justice and one more thing. So 4 questions out of 5 were related to consciousness. But in consciousness studies, it's so difficult. Why is it so difficult? The reason is we're trying to find out some objective way of grasping at the pure subject. That's why. Somebody said, we're doing consciousness studies. What are you studying? We're studying the consciousness of octopus. Because octopus is a very interesting creature. That may be so. But consciousness is directly presented to all of us. We are all conscious beings. But we will not study it there because that's subjective. We have to study it outside somewhere. They say there's an old Indian saying that you can grab your nose this way or you can try to grab your nose that way. So the problem with modern consciousness studies is you're trying to grab the nose of consciousness that way. Can we know anything about consciousness? Can we know anything about the self? Here is one thing we can do. One thing that is obvious. Vedanta, takes up this challenge. I exist, certainly, and what is it that I can know about myself? And then ultimately, what is the benefit of all this? Notice one thing. Not only do I exist, surely, but this I exist, I am, is there continuously. What do I mean by that? You are seeing right now. Do you exist? You'll say, yeah, I am, and I'm seeing. Suppose you do not see. Close your eyes right now. Are you seeing? No. Are you existing? Yes, I am. So whether we see or do not see, I am. When we hear, smell, taste, touch, I am is constant. What we are seeing is so different from hearing, is different from smelling, from tasting and touching. They're so different. And yet, one thing is constant, running through like a golden thread, the I am. I am is there. By the way, when I'm saying all this, you must follow the Vedantic procedure of hearing, reasoning, and meditating upon it. I put it in this way. Ask yourself these three questions. What did he say? Or what's the teaching? Second, do I get it? What are my doubts? What are my confusions? What are my questions here? Second. Third, is it real? Is it real? Remember, one of the claims was in Vedanta, we are not talking about anything extraordinary. We're talking about that which is quotidian, which is continuously available to all of us right now at every instant. So when I say the I am is constant in all perceptual experiences, one should also note, is that true? Yeah, it's true. One may not say I am all the time. We don't. Nobody says it. But if you inquire, upon inquiry, it's there. It's always the background sense of self is there for all of us, all the time. Not only perceptions, the absence of those perceptions. If you do not see, still you are. If you do not hear, do not smell, do not touch, you are. I am is still there. And then you go to thoughts, pleasant and unpleasant thoughts and emotions, memories. Where if you remember or you fail to remember, I am is constant. If one understands, I am is there. If one does not understand, the I am is there. In the functioning of thoughts, in the functioning of emotions, in the functioning of memory, in the functioning of the intellect, I am is continuous. In our actions, walking, talking, sitting, cooking, driving, doing research, whatever you're doing, the I am is constant there. Although one is not saying it, but if you check, it's always there. The self is always there. The sense of I am pervades all of this. In all our waking life, this life which we have right now, the I am is there all throughout. Everything else changes. People change, events change, day and night changes, our thoughts change, our perceptions change. The I am is constant. And then this whole waking experience disappears. We fall asleep. We have a dream experience. Multiple dreams come and go. But in the dream also the I am is there. There's a self. And then we go into a deep sleep state, where the dreams also cease. We are not experiencing an external world. We are not in the mind experiencing dreams. Without the experience of the body and the external world, without the experience of the mind, there we have the experience of deep sleep. Vedanta says deep sleep, sushupti, is an experience of absence. It's not an absence of experience. This is a crucial point. All of these can be debated. One can be probed into. I remember this conference at the Institute of Culture in Calcutta. So there was a conference on neuroscience and consciousness. And one Sankhyan philosopher, who happened to be an American, Professor Larson, who was passed away a few years ago, asked this neuroscientist, who was a British neuroscientist, I said, Professor, In deep sleep, according to neuroscience, is there consciousness or not? And this was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Now the science has changed, I'm told. So at that time, the professor said, the way we define consciousness in deep sleep, there is no consciousness. And the Sankhyan philosopher said, see, here's the difference. From the Sankhyan or the Vedantic perspective, in deep sleep, there is only consciousness. There's nothing to be conscious of. There's no object to be aware of. Deep sleep is just like this. I am with my eyes open, I experience the world. Eyes closed, I experience the world of mind. If I shut down my eyes and senses, if I shut down my mind, if I can, like deep sleep, I am still there. Consciousness is still there, but nothing to experience. And so there is no experience of an object or a subject. That is deep sleep. An experience of absence, not an absence of experience. I am is continuous. In all our perceptions, all our thoughts, all our activities, in waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, it is continuous. Why am I saying this? What do we know about the I am? We already know two things. It cannot be doubted. In fact, it's the only thing that cannot be challenged in our experience. The only thing that cannot be challenged is the sense of self. Second, it is continuous. It is continuous. Everything is known after we know ourselves that I am, then I know this world. Or I know my dreams. Or no whatever. Religion, science, whatever. But the I am is revealed by itself. Nothing else reveals the I am. This is the Vedantic idea of swaprakasha. The I am shines, and in its light, the body and the mind and the external world is revealed. 3 results so far. Indubitable. The I am, the self, is indubitable. It is continuous in the midst of all changes, in the midst of presence and absence. It is the illuminer of presence and the illuminer of absence. And third, it is self-revealing, what is called self-luminous. In Vedantic, in Upanishadic language, very beautiful poetry, that shining, everything else shines. By its light, everything here is illumined. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That shining, everything here is illumined. By its light, everything shines. You shining, the I am shining, you shining, everything here is revealed. By your light, everything is illumined. Now, this indubitable, continuous, luminous self, I'm using self and consciousness interchangeably. Can we, quote unquote, experience it? And what would be the purpose of doing this? The Vedanta makes this amazing claim. All our problems, in an existential sense, in a philosophical sense, at its deepest, are because of our inability to know what we truly are. If we would appreciate ourselves for what we truly are, already we are, everything would fall into place. Our problems would be at an end. Be careful. When the Vedanta claims that dukkha will be transcended, fulfillment will be attained, that's only in the most deepest existential sense. Not that if somebody has cancer, if you get enlightened, your cancer will be cured. No. Sri Ramakrishna, he passed away from throat cancer. He was a fully enlightened being. But did that cure his cancer? No. Physically, the world will go on in its own way. But is there something, what can spirituality do for us? Is there something that can give us peace and strength to deal with life in a much more effective way and a much more fulfilling way? That's what spirituality can do for us. The Buddha put it most effectively, I think, most beautifully. He said, it's like being hit by 2 arrows. When you're hit by an arrow, the person, there's so much pain and suffering. And suppose the person is hit by a second arrow. How much is the pain and suffering? Now, the first arrow is what the world throws at us. Old age, disease, death, frustration, societal problems, organizational, family problems, relationship problems, health problems, fear of death. All of this is what the world, the death, physical death itself, is what the world throws at us. First arrow. Second arrow is our reaction to it. The fear, the terror, the dissatisfaction, the anger, the jealousy, the bewilderment at this world. Our reaction to it. And the Buddha's point was, it is the second arrow, our reaction to this world, which causes suffering. The world by itself does not cause that much suffering. It does cause suffering, but by itself not so much. I know so many doctors, they'll immediately say that's absolutely true. Swamiji, we know so many patients. A patient with a serious life-threatening illness, when he's told about it, they react with dignity and calmness and they deal with it. Sometimes there are patients with minor problems. You'll think the world is ending, the way they react. And the relatives are even worse. So, it is our reaction to the problem which causes more suffering for ourselves and others. Not the problem, not the physical problem itself, not so much. So the Buddha says, what I am teaching, and in general, whatever spirituality, all kinds of spirituality, including Vedanta, whatever, it will deal with the second arrow. It will deal with our reaction to the world. How we react and we engage with the world. That will be totally changed by spirituality. About the first arrow is you need IIT, AIMS. So the good thing is to combine both. I was invited to give a talk at a hospital in Arizona. Yes, in Phoenix. So they were doing a program on mindfulness to manage pain. And I said, look, this is wonderful. It's a hospital which is dealing with pain through therapy and medicine and mindfulness. So you are dealing with both the arrows. The first arrow, you're dealing with it with pain, with surgery and with therapy and medicine. The second arrow, you're dealing with it mindfulness and other counseling and so on. So deal with both the arrows. Now, in the final part of this presentation, can we, this is the background, theoretical background so far. Can we actually get a feel for this, what we are talking about now? We will go through an exercise and then stop and take questions. This exercise is based on the Taittiriya Upanishad. It's an inquiry into the I am. To step by step take us deeper and deeper into our experience till we get a feel for it, what Advaita Vedanta is talking about. Taittiriya Upanishad, an inquiry into the self. Now I'm going to go through this process. I invite you all to walk with me. How do you walk with me? Listen carefully. This is Shravana. It should be able to answer the question, what did he say? What did the text say? Second, do I get it? I know what he said, but do I get it? Do I understand it? Or are there doubts? Third, I know what you said. I understand it. Is it real for me? Is it a fact? Like I am sitting on the chair, now it's a fact for you. Like that, is it a fact? What you just said. So 3 steps. What did he say? Do I get it? And is it real for me? Is it real for me? Each step you check. First, I will give you the procedure, then we'll actually try it out for a short while. It's from the 2nd chapter of Taittiriya Upanishad. Who am I? What is the self? Instead of saying Atman, Brahman, it start with, point it out. One sadhu said nicely, "Aapko bacche jaisa banna padega." Like how? Like a child. How? आप बच्चे से पूछिए, I hope everybody understands Hindi, I'll translate. आप बच्चे से पूछिए, नाक क्या है? What's a nose? You ask a kid. The kid will not say, naak is called nasika in Sanskrit, or kid will not say that organ by which we breathe and smell. No. What will the kid do? This one. We have to be like the child which will point directly to the object. Directly point to the object. Now most of this, what we'll point out, will be subjective, in your own experience. The body is physical, I can point that out. The rest will be in your own experience. So you have to directly point. First here, second theoretical understanding. Third, look at it in actual reality because it's present. Notice it. Attend to it. Then I'll take you deeper. Start with the body. So literally, point to it. Yeah, this is the body. This is where we identify ourselves. When you say I am, first it starts here. It doesn't start with the world, it starts with the body. I am this body. And then Vedanta goes through an inquiry. It's deep and quite extensive. I will just use 2 arguments. And these arguments, one must understand the argument and then actually apply it to see whether it works or not. Am I the body? Here, this body. Attend to the body first. Yes, this is the body. Am I the body? Vedanta, the Upanishad, Vedanta, in fact, the commentators, they ask us to consider the body is something that we are aware of. It's an object. I am the subject. It is drishya, something that you see, an object of our senses. whatever we experience, the object must be different from the subject. This is a basic principle of philosophy. The knife cannot cut itself. The thing does not operate upon itself. So if the sense is objectifying something, it must be something different from the sense. So I see just as I see the bottle and the bottle is different from the eyes, in the same way, I see the body, I touch the body, I can hear the body, I can smell it, I can taste it. All five senses objectify the body. I am the subject, the body is an object, just like anything in the world is an object. I cannot literally be the body because subject and object must be different. Drashta and drishya must be different. First argument. Second argument. I am conscious of the body. I am aware of the body. So, the body is not aware of me. Look, I am aware of this. Is this aware of me? Is it saying, Sarvapriyananda, hello? No. Our sense, look at your own experience. The consciousness is always with the subject, not with the object. Where do you find consciousness? In yourself. And everything else is presented to you. So the body comes to you as a non-conscious entity. You alone are conscious. You're conscious of the body and everything else. Here someone might ask, just a minute, Swami. All those people sitting next to me, they are also conscious. You can't say, I am only conscious. But only your own consciousness is revealed to you. Look at them. Their consciousness is not revealed to you. You infer that they are conscious. Just like in this body I am there, I feel conscious, and in all those bodies there must be a conscious entity. And they are not zombies. There must be conscious entities there. But you don't directly experience their consciousness. Just as you directly experience their body. If you were a telepath, you could directly experience their mind, but you will never ever directly experience consciousness because consciousness is not an object. It can't be experienced as an object of consciousness. So you are conscious of the body. The body is not conscious of you. So, conscious and not conscious, they cannot literally be the same thing. All this I'm explaining in Sanskrit, they will just use two words. Drashta, drishya must be different. First argument. Second, chetana, jada must be different. So therefore, you are not the body. What was the argument? Two arguments. One is body is drishya, you are drashta. Body is object, you are subject. They have to be different on principle. Therefore, you cannot literally be, you the conscious being cannot literally be flesh and hair and bones, no. Second argument, you are conscious, the body is non-conscious, though it feels conscious because of your presence. Second level. If I'm not the body, body is there. If I'm not the body, Upanishad says, Anyoantaratma pranamayaha. The self is there, no doubt, but it's not the body. Where is the self? Something more inner, more subtle. What's more subtle? The whole process is to make our minds more and more subtle until we realize pure consciousness, that we are pure consciousness. We go from the body inwards. Inwards does not mean physically inwards. If you go physically into the body, you will find more body. And the wet and gooey and ugly part of the body you will find. No, inwards in your own experience. So, breath. Prana, of course, the whole prana, but breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Notice that breath. Again, the same arguments. Am I the prana? The same arguments. Can you observe the prana? Of course you can. The whole, your vipassana, mindfulness, meditation depends on that. Breathing in, I'm aware of breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware of breathing out. What Vedanta will take away from it, you are the observer of the breath, you are the subject, you are the drashta, breath is drishya. So prana is drishya. You are conscious, prana is not conscious. See, I am aware of the breath. Is prana aware? Not to my knowledge. It is just a biomechanical pumping of air in and out of the body and the circulation of oxygen throughout the body. So, because I am aware and I am the subject, I am not the breath, which is the object, which is not aware. Upanishad says, go inwards. Anyo antaratma manomayaha, the mind. What is subtler than the body, subtler than the prana? The mind. Thoughts, emotions, memories, judgments, attitudes, opinions. This memory, and these thoughts which are going on in the mind. Am I the mind? This is the point where most people will say, yeah. That's what most people who we do not reflect, we take ourselves to be embodied minds. I am this body with a mind in it. I am a mind in a body. I'm an embodied, that's what we call a person. A person, a body with a mind. But am I a mind? Apply the same logic. Can you objectify your own thoughts? Yes, that's what's called introspection. Look, I'm aware of my thoughts. I can take a look right now. And I am the drashta, the thoughts and the emotions are drishya. If I say I don't feel well, I feel unhappy. If you feel unhappy, then you are aware of the unhappiness in the mind. The unhappiness becomes an object and you are the subject. And you are aware of it. Dramatic. This is where Vedanta goes further than modern consciousness studies. Modern consciousness studies, they don't make a distinction between mind and consciousness. Vedanta will say, notice, you are aware of the thought. The thought is not aware. What does that mean? Just think a thought, A, B, C, D. Notice carefully, right now, think A, B, C, D. You are aware of A, B, C, D. Is A, B, C, D aware of you? Is it saying, Swami, you have not taught me for a long time? No, it's not aware. Clearly, it's ridiculous. A, B, C, D is like mental chatter. So you are aware of it. You are conscious. Thoughts are not conscious. Since you are conscious and thoughts are not conscious, you cannot be the mind. Conscious and not conscious cannot be literally the same. They are contradictory. So you are not even the mind. Mind is there. Prana is there. Body is there. Not even the mind. You are the witness of the mind. Go further. A further subdivision is made in the Upanishad of mind and intellect. That capacity of the mind which we are using right now to understand all this, we're trying to grasp it, that's called intellect or buddhi. Am I the intellect? Many people think that. I am the intellect in this body-mind. I am intelligence itself. But the intelligence, can we observe the intellect at work? Of course we do, especially here. The students will all have that experience. I'm trying to get this concept, this mathematical equation. I don't get it. That's the intellect working. Next moment you get this experience. Yes, I've got it. Eureka, I've got it. That the intellect went from not comprehending to comprehending, not understanding to understanding. And I experienced both. Intellect trying to grasp, intellect grasping it. The intellect changing. If you change your ideas, you change your knowledge, of course, that's the sign of growth. But that means you are aware of the person who did not know or knew less earlier, now knows or understands more now. So I am equally the observer of the not knowing intellect and the knowing intellect. I am the subject, intellect is an object. And then you go further. I am aware of the intellect. The intellect is not aware of me. In my light, the intellect shines and functions or malfunctions. So I am the witness of the intellect. I am Chetana, intellect is Jada, Buddhi is Jada. I am Drashta, intellect is Drishya. So I cannot be the intellect. In Sanskrit, it's called Vijnanamaya Kosha, or Vijnanamaya. Then what am I? Turn further inwards. Clearly I am there. So what? It must be something more subtle. Anyantaratma Anandamayaha. The fifth level. First level, body. Second level, prana. Third level, mind. Fourth level, intellect. Fifth level. Imagine where you're not aware of the external world, you're not aware of the body, the prana, the mind, the intellect. You'll get a blank. You shut down everything, you get a blank. Like our experience in deep sleep. So that gives a clue about this Anandamaya. Normally we don't think about it, but Upanishad says that's there. That's the deepest psychological level of our existence. Just the blankness. Am I that blankness? Am I nothing? No, because that also comes and goes in deep sleep. That also is experience, that experience of absence which I spoke about. That is also not conscious. You are conscious of it, though you may not be able to formulate it when the mind is not working. So because I am Drashta, that Anandamaya is Drishya, I am Chaitanya, Anandamaya is Jada, I am not the Anandamaya, it's called the causal level. Then what am I? See, what has happened is every possible candidate for the self has been examined and rejected. On what grounds? Drashta and Drishya, Chetana and Jada. These are just two. There are many such arguments to show that we are not these objective, non-conscious entities. See, what I'm doing here, what the Upanishad did, is exactly what David Hume did. This is being done in a very extensive way, just examining whatever presents itself and to see that, is it the self? Am I this thing? No, it's not. So I am none of these. So do I not exist? Whatever I thought I was, you have shown me, Upanishad has shown me I am not that. Then I don't exist, but surely I do exist. The student asks in the Upanishad, Asad Brahma iti Veda chet. Suppose you come to the conclusion that this Atman Brahman is not there. The teacher says, Asanneva sabhavati, then you will not exist. We are talking about you. But you surely do exist. That is the one, what Descartes found, the one indubitable fact of our existence. Then what am I? And here's where I always tell the story of the 10th man. I mean, I've told it ad nauseum, but it's important. This is a strategic moment to tell it. We all know the story. 10 people, 10 friends crossed a river, ancient Indian story. 10 friends crossed a river, and then they thought, have we all crossed, or did somebody drown? I remember, okay, I'll tell you the story, funny story. When we were introduced to statistics in +2 as a student, so we used to have these very big statistics books. At the very beginning, there would be a joke about statistics. So family, a gentleman with his wife and little kids, bigger, middle, smaller. It's a bit of a gruesome story, but I'll still share it. It was in the textbook. So they crossed a river. It's an old story. They crossed a river. Before crossing, the gentleman who knew statistics, he said, let me be careful. Let me be careful. Nobody should drown. So what is the depth of the river? He found out the depth of the river, so many feet. What is the height? This is the mistake of knowing statistics. Average height of the family. So he found the average height of the family. Average height of the family is slightly above the depth of the river. Good. Then they all crossed. Then they couldn't find the little kid. And he again calculated average height of the family, depth of the river. Still the same. Average height of family is greater than depth of the river. And then he said this, Arba jyon ka tyon, kunba duba kyon. Arba is the old name for mathematics, calculations, arithmetic. Kunba is relative. So the calculations are still the same. Why did my relative drown? Anyway, so they thought, have we all crossed or did somebody drown? And they counted. One of them counted. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God, the 10th person has drowned. Others said, no, let me try. Everybody counted. They found only 9 persons. And they started crying, sitting there, until a wise person, as usual, comes along. Why are you crying, my friends? Oh, sir, great tragedy. 10 of us crossed the river. 1 person drowned, and we are weeping for the loss of our dear friend. He said, how do you know? We counted. So this man must have understood. He must have seen 10 are there. So he said, don't worry, don't cry. The 10th person is there. Where? 10th person is there. I will show you. Don't cry. Calm down. This is what the Upanishad tells you. You are Atman, Brahman. Don't worry. But we must see for ourselves. Where is the 10th person? So I will show you. You count first. Sir, we have already counted. Count, humor me. Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I told you 9. Dashamastwamasi, 10. You are the 10th. He turned his hand around, pointed to him. Oh, I see. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. Oh, wonderful. The others said, let me try. They all tried and they found the 10th person. They rejoiced. So this is the story. Here what we must do is, when you go from the body to the prana to the mind, you must be like that little kid, Nak. What is the body? Here. What is the prana? Notice it. What is the mind? Notice. Now I cannot help you. I can't point it out like Nak. You have to point out yourself mentally. That's the mind. Then you go. That's the intellect, which is trying to understand. More subtle. Then you go. Try to simulate an absolute blankness. Then turn inwards. I cannot help you in this anymore. Turn inwards from that blankness to the one who is observing the blankness and the intellect and the mind and the prana and the body. Through those, observing the world. The 10th person. You must make that. It's not a physical turn. Not even a psychological turn. You might call it an ontological or metaphysical turn. But you must make it yourself and grasp it for yourself. Until you do that, you will complain, I have understood it intellectually, but it's not real. I mean, not yet real for me. I'm not yet fully enlightened. When you grasp it, like that, you will say, I'm enlightened. I've got it. Then the benefits will start flowing from it. Until that time, you'll say, great, nice theory, ancient knowledge, very nice philosophy talk. I've understood it. Samajh liya. All right. Now this is the background. We will do a short exercise with this. Remember these 5 steps? This body is called Annamaya. Prana is called Pranamaya. mind is called manomaya. Intellect is called vijnanamaya. The blankness is called anandamaya. And then beyond these five, panchakosha. Panchakosha vilakshana atma, separate from this, witness of these five, is what? Is called what? Atma, Brahma, you, the real you. There, don't try to do nak. Don't try to put it as an object, because it will never be an object. You don't try to grasp it as an object. If you try to grasp it as an object, you'll never find it like Hume. You see that? You notice, I am not these five, but I exist as the experiencer of these five. That way. Now, when you are comfortable, those who want to participate, you can sit up straight, relaxed. Don't be rigid, just be relaxed. When we are comfortable, those who want, you can close your eyes. We will just do what we did just now, but then this is actual noticing and practicing. Sitting straight, relaxed. Now gently open your eyes and look at the body. Look down at your lap, the body. Close your eyes. This is the body, which I always instinctively identify myself with. But am I literally this? Relaxed and breathing normally. Because it is an object of all my senses. I see it, hear it, smell it, taste it. It's an object, I am the subject. It is drishya, I am drashta. And clearly, I am conscious of the body. Just be conscious of the body. We feel where the feet are touching the floor, where the body is touching the chair, sensations within the body. This is body. Clearly an object. I am subject. Clearly non-conscious. I am conscious of it. Because it is drishya, I am drashta. Because it is jada, I am chetana. I cannot be the body. Whatever I am not the body. Breathing normally. Let us draw our attention to the breath, which is the tip of the iceberg called prana. Breathing in, breathe in, be aware of the breath going in at the nostrils, and let go of the breath naturally. Notice, it is an object. I felt it. I am the drashta, breath is drishya. I am aware of the in-breath, I am aware of the out-breath. I, the awareness, and the breath, which is an object to my awareness, is not aware. I cannot be the breath, I cannot be prana. Prana is drishya, I am drashta. Prana is jada, I am chetana. Hence, I am not prana. Breathing normally, relaxed. Look further inwards. The mind. We'll be aware of thoughts or memories or anxieties, questions. All of this is mind, stream of thoughts. Again, it is an object. I can introspect and make the mind an object. I am subject. Mind is drishya, I am drashta. I am aware of the thoughts, ABCD thought. I am aware of all thoughts and memories. Thoughts and memories are not aware of me. Mind is drishya, I am drashta. Mind is jada, I am chetana. I am not the mind. Breathing normally, relaxed. Let us look at the intellect, that which tries to understand, and we will see that subtle functioning. That's also jada, that's also drishya. I'm aware of the intellect lack of comprehension. I'm aware of the intellect working and understanding. I'm aware of the acquisition of knowledge. I am drishya. I am drashta. Intellect is drishya. I am chetana, conscious. Intellect is non-conscious. I cannot be the intellect. I am the witness of the intellect's functioning. Breathing normally, turning inwards. Try to simulate an absolute stillness. Not aware of the external world, not seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching anything. Not aware of the body, suppose. Not even aware of the breath. Not aware of emotions, not aware of thoughts. No memory, absolute blank. Not even trying to understand. Even the sense of I goes. the deep blankness, that also is an object. It's an experience of absence. I am drashta, it is drishya. I am chetana, it is jada. I am not the causal state, also the anandamaya. I am not the body, annamaya. I am not the prana, pranamaya. I am not the mind, manomaya. I am not the intellect, vijnanamaya. I am not the causal state, anandamaya. All are fact of experience, but they are all objects of my experience. I am the subject, drashta of all of them. They are all non-conscious. I am conscious. I am chetana. They are all jada. Remembering the 10th man, from the deep silence of the Anandamaya, the absolute stillness. Appreciate that stillness, the complete silence, the complete nothingness is also illumined by me consciousness, by the self, which is consciousness itself. Without trying to objectify the self, I know that I am awareness itself. I shining the 5 levels of body, prana, mind, intellect and anandamaya, they are revealed to me. By my light they shine and reveal an so-called external world. When you are comfortable, be aware that you are in this room. Gently open your eyes, look downwards first, and then when you're comfortable, look upwards. This we did just in a few minutes. It should be done properly. Regular practice, extended at every level. First become comfortable, body. Appreciate it, this body. Appreciate the breath. In Vipassana meditation, how many hours of just following the breath? Just stay there for a few minutes. Then the mind, a tremendous display of the mind. What not goes on there. Then the intellect. And then nothing. Experience the blankness. Then only try to appreciate all of these are appearing and disappearing before me. And in my light, they are all revealed. 2 points. This is still not Vedanta. The way I have taught it is actually, traditional teachers would say this sounds like Sankhya to us, separating consciousness from everything else. One more step in Vedanta would be, this bare consciousness, this naked awareness. Notice that the mind and the body and the world appear and disappear in that awareness. So Vedanta will say they are not separate, they are appearances of awareness to itself. You, the consciousness, are appearing to yourself as the world, as the body, as the mind, as intellect. What we separated earlier, we now integrated back again. In the words of our teacher, in Hindi they say it just close by Uttarakhand here. There are sadhus there in the Himalayas. The way they teach, just 1 or 2 sentences. Drashta to drishya se alag hai, ye to theek hai Mahatma ji. That you are the witness, you are separate from the witnessed. You are the consciousness separated from the object. That's correct. पर कभी आपने सोचा है क्या दृश्य दृष्टा से अलग है? See, you are different from the object of your experience, but is the object of experience different from you? What I mean by that is, water is different from the wave. Is wave different from the water? Wood is different from the table. Is table different from the podium, different from the wood? What do I mean wood is different from the podium? It was wood earlier when it was a tree trunk. It was wood when it was in the shop floor. It is wood when it is in the form of this podium. It will be wood when it becomes at one time discarded and destroyed and condemned. Wood is different from the podium. It need not be podium. But the podium cannot be different from the wood. Exactly like that, like clay and pot, gold and ornament, water and wave, wood and podium. Consciousness and its objects. Consciousness, you are different from the objects, as we argued till now. But those objects, are they different from you? Notice they only arise in you, the consciousness. Are they different from you? Do they exist apart from you? That's a huge subject of debate and inquiry. But Advaita Vedanta will say, no, they are not. They are only you appearing in those forms. Second, I just make a mention here and stop. What is the benefit of all this? This awareness which we discerned as the witness of the body, the prana, the mind, the intellect, and the causal state, this awareness is non-afflicted. It's free of tension. Tension is in the body, in the mind, in the body. Illness and old age are in the body, not in the witness awareness. Will you ever say, I am overweight, I need to lose weight? Consciousness is overweight. Can consciousness be overweight? No. Body is overweight. You need to work on the body, no problem. But you are, it gives you a psychological gap between you and your problems. As a result, the mind also settles down. It gets free of stress and tension. It's a second arrow. You're treating the second arrow. This is how you apply it. One sadhu said, "Jo cheez jahan ka hai, Mahatma ji, usko wahin rehne do." Don't misplace things. Whatever belongs where, you put it there. Old age belongs in the body, not in consciousness. Disease belongs in the body and the prana, not in consciousness. Hunger and thirst are there. They belong in the prana, not in consciousness. Fear, frustration, misery, anxiety belongs in the manomaya, the mind, not in you, the consciousness. You are the witness of that. Confusion, delusion, moha, this belongs in the intellect, not in you. This gives you great relief, freedom from the burden of samsara, right now, right here. So I've tried to present here an approach to the inquiry into I am, and the science of philosophical inquiry. This is one broad path of spirituality which you derive from the Upanishads. Thank you so much. Thank you. I've gone well beyond time. Maybe I can sit there and answer the question. So what we'll do is, there'll be a microphone. Where is the microphone? Those who want to ask questions, they can come up. We'll keep a microphone somewhere here in the front.
Now I request everybody who have questions to form a queue, and then...
Where? Right here, on my right, in that aisle. Just come and form a queue, and there's somebody with the microphone. There's a volunteer coming.
Yeah.
There is, yes. Please come up with the microphone. Tell us your name, and if you want, you can share your department or what you're doing here, and you can ask a question. Make it pointed. Thank you.
Namaste, Swamiji. So my question...
Tell us your name.
Yeah, I'm Dheeraj. My question is that, like, once we have separated out the Atman from the 5 koshas, then, like, what happens to the free will? Like, is there a free will we have or not? And
all right. This is a big question of free will. From ancient times till today, it's being debated. Even in this modern age with neuroscience and all, a new dimension has come into this debate. If you have read this book, latest publication which is making the rounds, Determined, Richard Sapolsky. So he has come to the conclusion there is no free will based on neuroscience. What does Vedanta say about it? That there is no free will, ultimately. Vedanta makes a very useful distinction between transactional reality and ultimate truth. So ultimately there's no free will because it's only one consciousness shining forth. But for practical purposes, when that consciousness is associated, not separated, associated with the mind and the body, there is, I will say, a transactional free will, vyavaharika, which you call it. We assume free will and operate in this world until we realize there's no free will. Enlightened person can work on the basis of no free will. But for us, we cannot. Because we are so close, we are identified with the mind, and one characteristic of the mind is what is called karta bhokta, agentship. Agentship assumes free will. Our society assumes free will. The election is going on. You will vote for this or that. Free will is assumed. You go to a shopping mall. You will buy this or that. Free will is assumed. Religion, do's and don'ts. Free will is assumed. Otherwise, why teach religion at all? So practically free will is assumed. Ultimately, they will say no free will. This is, of course, a huge topic which we cannot go into much further. But yeah, I mean, there's so much reading also which can be done. Yes, please.
Namaskaram, Swamiji. Thank you for making such a profound impact on my life.
Tell us your name.
My name is Gaurav. I'm an ex-trainer at IIT. Swamiji, when we are talking about the self and the Atman and Brahman, I've always not been able to wrap my head around the concept of reincarnation of the soul, because when we go to the soul level, as even in the Nirvana Shatakam, there is no attributions, psychological attributions left at the soul level.
True.
So when I say it is my soul which is going into the next life, I don't quite understand how do I own the soul.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just put it this way. When we talk about reincarnation, notice, first of all, you are right. Advaita Vedanta, at its final analysis, when it's all one consciousness without a second, even the universe is appearing in that consciousness. Then from that perspective, it disowns reincarnation also. Not that there is no reincarnation, that there is no birth and no death. From the consciousness was never born, the consciousness will never die, and hence it will never be reincarnated. But what does reincarnation, punarjanma, mean in Vedanta? It means that a physical body dies, physical death. And then it is the subtle body. What is subtle body? Now we did this exercise now. So subtle body and physical body we can understand. Physical body is the annamaya, the physical body, first one. Subtle body is the rest of it. Prana, manomaya, vijnanamaya, up to anandamaya, which is karana sharira. Those do not die at physical death. Those do not die. That's the claim. Here is the materialist who will say everything dies at physical death. I mean, except matter. Only matter is left. So you are gone at physical death. That's the materialist idea. But every religion makes the claim that something survives physical death. In Vedanta, we can precisely point to what survives physical death. It would be pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, anandamaya. This bundle is called the sukshma sharira, sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, karana sharira. With consciousness associated with it, this bundle travels. Pure consciousness, Atman, Brahman, does not travel. Please don't join the queue anymore. I don't think we can complete so many questions, but we can cut it off there. So, Atman or Brahman does not travel. Where will it travel? It is the only reality. In fact, not only is it all pervasive, even space appears in consciousness. So, there's no question of traveling in consciousness. So, yes, summing up, answer to your question, from an ultimate perspective, you're right. Advaita will disown in reincarnation, karma, along with the physical universe. But for transactional purposes, Vedanta holds on to the general theory of reincarnation, which is pervasive in Indian thought. All schools of Hinduism, all schools of Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, all of them accept this cycle of birth and death. What travels? Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Those have the attributes of each particular individual. So it's like if you lose your device, your iPad or computer, but your data is backed up to the cloud. So next time you get an iPad, you can download your data. You will get more or less the same thing. Similarly, that will carry the impressions of the individual, which is Gaurav. And when you get a new hardware, new body, it will be downloaded there. But unfortunately, you will not be Gaurav anymore. New name, new life. Yeah.
Can I just ask one more small question?
I'll just leave it there because so many people are there. Tell us your name and ask the question.
Namaste, Swamiji. My name is Amira Arora. My question is that, as you said, consciousness is all there is. It's unchanging, permanent. Then how come when, at least in this life, when you were born, and if the truth is, this is a devil's advocate I'm playing, that if we are Brahman, then how come Brahman would make himself forget that they are Brahman and put that veil of ignorance on themselves?
True. So how can Brahman, if you're Brahman, how can you have ignorance? How can the sun have darkness, But you must ask, what has ignorance? Does pure consciousness have ignorance? So when we say the sun is covered by the clouds, but is that really true? Sun is not covered by the clouds. Even the earth is like a dot compared to the sun, let alone a little patch of clouds. It's our vision which is obstructed by the clouds. And even the clouds are illumined by the sunlight. So, when you say ignorance, does it belong to the mind or to Brahman? Ignorance always belongs to the mind. So Brahman is never in ignorance. It's we as Brahman with the mind from the perspective of the limited individual jiva which feels ignorant. Now when you tell me I am Brahman, I am ignorant, and you're telling me I am Brahman, so Brahman is ignorant? No. So you take it from the sun's perspective. When the cloud comes and covers my vision, if you are the sun, from your perspective you will say, what cloud? No cloud is there for you. From Brahman's perspective, what ignorance? No ignorance is there. Even the ignorance, I feel I am ignorant. I don't know Atman, I don't know Brahman. If you say that I don't know is also illumined by consciousness. Consciousness never has a shadow. Yes.
Pranam Swamiji. My name is Aryan Arora. Because we are talking about self-inquiry, I had a question in regards to Jiva and Brahman. So in the context of Vedanta, we are that vast, we are that universal consciousness, but at the same time, and we all wake up in the morning fulfilling our sense pleasures, fulfilling our desires. So my question was, in your understanding, how can we fully embody that essence as Brahman when every day we are living many of the traits that could be connected and aligned with Jiva?
Yes. Note that this pure consciousness which we are, after going through this exercise, nothing has changed. The mind is still there, the prana is there, the body is there, the world is there, thank God. But now we know that we are not limited to this body-mind. We are awareness with a body-mind. What change is there? Only what Vedanta tries to do is bring about a paradigm change. First of all, in our understanding, and then in reality for us. What's the paradigm change? Before this, we thought, we are not denying consciousness. We are saying, I'm a body with consciousness. Now we're trying to convince you you're consciousness with a body. And that's a huge difference. Once you make that change, what am I? I am consciousness with a body and mind and with a life. Then when you try to live life, you will see it's much easier. It's much easier. Many things which we desired will seem unimportant now. Many things which we suffered and we thought were terrible, those things will still be there. We will not think it's so terrible anymore. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
So my question is regarding...
Tell us your name and ask the question.
Sorry, my name is Mahesh and I'm a PhD student here in mechanical. So my question is regarding, in the end you said integrating the consciousness with a thing that is beyond the fifth level of intellect.
Or integrating your identity, or saying, I am that one, beyond the fifth level. Yes.
So, and in the deep sleep, when you said it is the experience of an absence, and in the end, through the exercise, we have experienced that levels. And in the end, you said that now we have to integrate these two.
Yeah.
Consciousness and the difference between that. So, in a day-to-day life, even though now we know that there is a difference,
yes,
we will forget things.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So, the practice of this exercise,
yes,
is it to, the objective of this exercise, is it to do this in cycles so that the difference will diminish?
Correct. Beautifully
Thank
said.
you.
What is the object of this meditation exercise? In Vedanta, it's called nididhyasana, non-dual meditation, Vedantic meditation. This exercise follows, this is a big debate. Many people think meditation will give rise to enlightenment, Brahma Gyan. No. In classical Advaita Vedanta, it is hearing and reasoning which gives rise to Brahma Gyan. And this meditation confirms it, makes it natural for us. Shravana and Manana will give Jnana. Nididhyasana, meditation, will give us the result of Jnana. Vivekananda says assimilation of the truth. So this is very much like what you do in IIT or educational institutions. What will the professor tell you? The professor will tell you, come to the class, listen to the talks and read the handouts, then reason it out for yourself and sit quietly and think intensely about it, you will get it. Now if somebody says, so finally I have to sit quietly, then I will get it. Then I will not go to the class, I will not read the handouts, I'll just sit quietly. Will I get it? No. Getting it is from the teaching, the text, the teaching, and from your own thinking. And finally making it a natural thing for us, to absorbing it. As Vivekananda says, you stay with it, he says in his own words, till it tingles with every drop of your blood. Till you realize, Soham, I am that, it becomes natural. As your name is Mahesh, as it's natural. You don't have to keep thinking I'm Mahesh. You are not anxious that when I go out of here, I'll forget I'm Mahesh. Morning and evening, I should repeat, I am Mahesh, I am Mahesh, I am Mahesh. You never do that. Because you're so confident in your Mahesh identity, it's always available to you. You never even practice it once. But if anybody asks you, what's your name, you'll say Mahesh. But this Mahesh identity also was given to you only a few years ago by your parents or grandparents. Now it's natural for us. Like this, it should become natural. I am awareness. So we will react to every situation in life as awareness through the body-mind. It will be a huge difference. The practice makes you assimilate it. The practice makes you assimilate. And then the results will flow. Otherwise, it's true, it will seem as if we forget. And then we will react again as body-mind, as the Mahesh construct. And the same thing will go on. We'll complain, I understood it, but my life has not changed. You said I will get peace. I don't get any peace. It's because we must change the paradigm. I am the awareness in which the Mahesh personality, body-mind is arising, and I shall work through that. By the way, don't speak like that anymore. Huh? Just say, I am Mahesh and I am listening to a talk. Don't say, I am the limitless awareness shining through the 5 levels of body-mind of Mahesh and listening to a talk. No. Some people start speaking like that. One person wrote to me that I, who am the same limitless consciousness as you, in this lifetime embodied in this body and mind, I'm writing to you as Mr. Mishra. So I said, Bol do na, hum Mishra ji hain. Why talk like that? So don't talk like that, but know the difference. Yes, it's a good point.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Yes.
My name is Rahul. I have a doubt regarding the last step that when you said that everything appears in consciousness
Yes.
and not to consciousness.
Yes.
So I've tried to reason it out myself, but what I'm get stuck is that I'm neither able to with full confidence say that it appears in consciousness or to conscious.
Yeah.
So like
So this is actually a huge step. One needs to take it carefully. Everything appears in consciousness. There are only 2-3 philosophies in India, darshanas, which will say that. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, everything will say, others will say it is appearing to you, not in you. They're all separate from you. The materialist paradigm we are used to is that we are this material body, and indeed, from the body's perspective, it's all outside you, and it's appearing to you. But from consciousness perspective, it's all appearing in you. And it's nothing but you. So these 3 stages, the world appears to you, stage 1. The world appears in you. And therefore, 3rd stage, it's nothing but you. You are this world which appears to you. Way to understand it is the dream paradigm. When you wake up from a dream and you analyze it, everything that appeared to you in the dream actually appeared in you and was nothing but you, the dreamer. Okay, just think about that. Same thing you apply to the waking world. Yeah.
thank you.
Tell us your name.
I am Orko. Yeah, if I am the Atman and so is everyone, then why can't I see through your eyes? And how is duality born out of non-duality?
Okay, I got it. This is difficult question. I should have been prepared for this. After all, this is IIT. Good question. See,
And one last part
Yeah.
of it is, how is cloud born out of the sun?
how is cloud born out of the sun? Yes. So same question as what he asked there, actually. All right. First part of the question is, if I'm the same consciousness in all beings, just as I'm conscious of my own thoughts, I should be able to be conscious of your thoughts. As I am aware of the inputs of these sense organs, I can hear, smell, taste, touch. I should be aware, I can sort of hack into your system and like you do in computers. I should be able to hack into your brain and nervous system and be able to be aware of the contents of that. But that's not possible. Maybe some yogis can do it, but it's not natural. We don't have it. Why not? I'll just give you the seed of the answer. You have to work it out. It's a subtle but powerful answer. There is a difference between consciousness and knowledge. Consciousness shining through mind and sense organs gives us knowledge. And that knowledge is entirely localized in each mind and sensory system. Why this question seems immediate for us is because we have not been able to divest ourselves of mind. We still think of ourselves as the mind, even if I'm saying I'm consciousness. And therefore we think, as at this mind I know all this here, I should know everything there also. But mind is not common to all of them. Consciousness is common to all of them. The question here would be, does consciousness illumine the contents of each mind? It does. But I know. Who is saying that? Orko is saying that. So Orko knows the contents of Orko's mind and sensory system. Second one, how was cloud formed from the sun? He's not asking a question of geography. He's asking in Vedanta philosophy. How did ignorance ultimately, if everything arises from consciousness, from Brahman, then the cloud of ignorance should have also arisen from Brahman? Here it's very metaphysical. The answer will be it did not. An appearance of the world, an appearance of individuality, an appearance of individual ignorance and freedom, knowledge, all of them are appearances. As far as existence is concerned, nothing happened there. It's like gold. I give this example. You make it into a necklace or melt it, make it into a bracelet, make it into a ring, melt it and make it. You're getting different names, different forms, different uses. Name, form, and use keep changing. But it's literally the same gold. If you ask the gold, why did you change from necklace to bracelet? The gold will say, what are you talking about? I'm gold. I was gold. I am gold. Will be gold. He's doing what is called upeksha, ignoring the name, form, and use. And he can do that because the gold is the reality. Name, form, and use are dependent realities. Okay, I'll leave it at that. The rest is assignment. You have to work it out.
Well, Pranam Guruji.
Yes. What's your name?
I am Harsh Sharma. I am a BTech student. Sir, what I wanted to ask is the golden thread, what we call that, I exist, I constantly exist, and then we mentioned deep sleep. So how do I verify in deep sleep that I still exist?
You can't. To verify something, you need the mind and intellect at least. An instrument for verification. That will work only when you wake up or to some extent in dreaming. So when we wake up, we examine the deep sleep experience. The very fact that I'm calling it an experience means consciousness must have been there. After all, what is experience? Simple equation. C plus O is equal to E. Consciousness plus object is equal to experience. Apply it for all our experiences. It's awareness with an object. That's what we call anubhava. Awareness with the absence of objects is what we call sushupti, deep sleep. Because it's an experience, consciousness must have been there. Why it seems like nothing is because our idea of consciousness is mind. Certainly mind was shut down there in deep sleep. So it felt like nothing.
Pranam Maharaj, my
Yes.
name is Amola. So my question comes from a place where at the intellectual level, we have certain goals, aspirations and ambitions, and we can also visualize a purpose for our life.
Yes.
That is one level. And the other level is the unattached self of consciousness.
Yes.
How do we strike a balance between the two?
Yes.
Because for monks, it's very easy. It's astonishing to see how they do it. But for a householder, how can they do that?
It's not easy for anybody, not even for monks. But I think it's sometimes, it's enormously important for householders, people who are engaged with the world, to have this knowledge. Krishna gave this knowledge to Arjuna, who was in the worst possible occupation, actually fighting and killing people. If he can be spiritual, Vedantic, in the middle of a battlefield, we can be spiritual anywhere. Okay, now your particular question. It's much easier if you have got this knowledge. It's not that you have two selves. What we have done now is just given us a deeper understanding of ourselves. Our understanding of the self went up to intellect, Vijnanamaya and Manomaya, intellect and mind. Now we see we are the witness of intellect and mind. Therefore, we are free of the travails of the mind and intellect, while having the mind and now they are instruments for us. So now, knowing that I am not the intellect, I am not a slave to the ambitions of the intellect. Knowing that I am not the mind, I am not a slave to the whims of the mind. Knowing that I am not the body and the senses, I am not a slave to the body and the senses. Therefore, I can now use the intellect well. See, I can decide what I want to do as this embodied self. Who will decide? Intellect will decide. With my light, I illuminate. Knowing full well, I am not this intellect which is deciding. It's an instrument. So I am free of it. I am fulfilled regardless. I am this limited, unlimited consciousness. So this way, as the unattached self, working through this body and mind. The body and mind is not attached to me, but body and mind is entirely dependent on me. I am not dependent on the body and mind. This is the reversal which happens. So you can live and work in freedom and in peace. And your work, you will not be so disturbed by the world, and you will be a blessing to yourself and to the world. Yeah.
Pranam Swamiji, my name is Parakram. My question is, Initially, Swamiji, you said that everything appears in consciousness, that everything is or is out of consciousness.
Is born out of consciousness, is nothing but consciousness. These are the claims of Advaita Vedanta. Yes.
Right. And subsequently, when we did the exercise, there was a certain difference between the material, the subtle, and consciousness.
Yes, yes.
When we enter into the practical world, our workspace or something, what is the one philosophy out of the two that we should identify with? Is everything around me nothing else but me, or is everything around me, including me, is separate from consciousness?
Yes.
That is one.
Okay, let me just answer that.
And
Okay, go ahead.
And the second part is the exercise that you did was it really I could feel the difference. But how do we practically do it in the midst of all sorts of work life?
All right, I get it. Two questions. All right. First one is the second one I can answer directly. Practically, how we do it? First, you won't be able to do it practically in the midst of all things. First, give time for it separately, just like you gave time for it now. You sat through the lecture, heard it, understood it, then did a short exercise. Similarly, morning and evening, you need not listen to the whole lecture anymore. You've got it now. So give that time, maybe 15, 20 minutes in the morning, a kind of meditation where you see the difference between yourself and the physical body, the pranic body, the mind, the intellect, and the blankness. Then notice that witness of the five is free of the problems of the five. And then come back joyfully into these five and deal with the problems of the five and the world. Live your life.
And can I do it with the breath of the...
Yes, you can connect it with the breath also. The first part of your question was about the... One of the two philosophies. Good question. Should I consider myself as separate from all of it? Or should I consider myself all of it? A good way to live is to consider yourself all of it. That means all are me. And then I live in this particular identity as Gaurav? Parakram. As Parakram in this identity and deal with the world. When you sit in meditation, think of yourself as separate from all of it. No world, no body, no prana, no mind, no intellect, as awareness itself. Your meditation will be deeper. Any meditation that you do, if you preliminarily do this, your meditation will be deeper. When you engage with the world, you have a sense of oneness with it. You will be joyful, and you will be able to deal with the world much more skillfully, with more peace, strength, straightforwardness, and affection also.
Hello, Swamiji. I am Soma.
Soma.
My question is a little out of context from here. My question is just a simple question. Does the God exist?
Does God exist?
And I am not talking about like some historical persons we worship or something. I am talking about like a supernatural entity which is omnipotent.
Right.
Like that.
Does that supernatural entity which is omnipotent, omniscient, does it exist or not? First of all, I'll give you two answers. One is from the Advaitic perspective. There is no doubt here at all. Because the Advaitic God is the self in all beings. In 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. O Arjuna, know me as the knower of the field in all these fields. The one consciousness separate from the five levels. Know me as that one consciousness in all these bodies and minds. Krishna says that. That God is indubitable because as Descartes' proof, cogito ergo sum, you cannot doubt it. It's beyond doubt. But you did not ask that. You said that supernatural entity which is worshipped by theistic religions in a dualistic way, does it exist? If you ask me, I will say yes. Then next you'll ask me, how do you know? I will say, I believe it. You'll say, why do you believe it? Because someone like Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has said it, because the scriptures, theistic religions of the world say it. Can you say, if you ask, can you prove it? Like this one consciousness, it is indubitable. But can you prove it? There are proofs of the existence of God. If you Google it, you will find. The great Nayayika, Udayanacharya, when he was debating with the Buddhists in India, 1,000-year debate was there. One point was, does the God of Hindus exist? By the way, one professor whom I studied under, Professor Parimal Patil, he teaches Indian philosophy at Harvard University. His book, very nice but very dense book, Against a Hindu God. Against a Hindu God, that is the Buddhist attack on the God idea of Hinduism. So it is faith-based. Udayanacharya gives 10 proofs of the existence of God. Saint Thomas Aquinas, the great Christian theologian, he gives 5 proofs of the existence of God. So you can Google it, you'll see. But I can warn you, if you are not convinced about the existence of God, you will not be impressed by those proofs. If you are convinced by the existence of God, those proofs, you will find it nice. It doesn't add anything to you. They are not very, none of those proofs are very strong proofs.
My name is Shashwat, and my question is that when we say I am watching my emotions, my thoughts, maybe it's not that I am which is watching the thoughts and emotion. Maybe it's the mind. Maybe it's a combination of mind plus intellect, and which is watching the thought, and not the I am which is watching the thought. I cannot convince myself. And when we come out of the deep sleep, we say that there was an experience of absence. However, when we are in the deep sleep, we don't say that we are experiencing the absence.
Absolutely.
However, why there is a discontinuity in experience?
Yes, discontinuity is there, that's easily answered. Discontinuity is there because what is discontinuous? Mind is discontinuous. Or don't add to questions, we don't have time. We can, all right, we'll make a stop of it and then we can take it outside, yeah? Because we have run out of time.
Yes, Maharaj, it's already 11:40.
11:40, yeah. So, yeah. So discontinuity is because mind shuts down in deep sleep. In dream, at least mind is active. In waking world, body and sense organs are active. In deep sleep, from our perspective, there is no activity of body and sense organ. From our perspective, mind is not acting. So that's why it seems discontinuous. Again, mind starts when we wake up. Now, the first question is a subtle one. This was raised by the Buddhists. The Buddhist Vijnanavadis, they attacked Advaita by saying, why are you saying that consciousness is illumining, separate consciousness is illumining all? Why not say the intellect itself? It has got its own power pack, battery cell, consciousness. So every thought comes with its own consciousness. It flashes for one moment, goes away. Next thought comes, flashes and goes away. Next thought comes, flashes and goes away. Why not? Why say there's one continuous consciousness in the background? Logical. So there are answers to this. One answer, Shankaracharya's answer to this, is that if that is so, in your view, then consciousness is discrete flashes, one after another. If it's discrete, in between there must be gap. That gap is known or unknown. If the gap is known, then there must be consciousness there. If the gap is unknown, how are you positing a gap? So in either case, consciousness is continuous. This is one argument. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Maharaj.
We'll take it up afterwards. Let them ask the question. Remember.
Maharaj, it's 11:42. Should we?
We'll take a couple of more questions, and then we'll take it outside. Yeah.
Sure, Maharaj.
Yes.
Pranam Swamiji. My name is Saumitra. My specific question is that the goal of dualism seems very straightforward. You devote your life to God and you realize God. But what is the goal of Advaita Vedanta? Is it not a cosmic suicide in the sense of that?
Is it not a?
Cosmic suicide. That there is no birth, there is no rebirth.
True.
And you never come back.
Is it a suicide? No. What will happen is, this world will keep appearing anyway, right now. Even if one has very seriously appreciated I am consciousness, then what is happening now? Same world is appearing before you. Instead of saying that there is a separate world created by a separate God and we have to live in this world and worship God, what this is doing is, it's saying that this whole world is your manifestation. So as long as you are manifested as individual being, you will live in oneness with this world, and your ethics, your life will be, you will live this truth basically. That's called the concept of a Jivan Mukta. However, one may be comfortable with this one or that one. It's not that you have to follow this one. There's no compulsion at all. If I am comfortable in the dualistic mode, it's much more natural to me to feel that I am an individual being, God is there, and I worship. And even if you say it is faith, it's good. It's faith. What's wrong with faith? I say it's faith. I believe and worship and work in faith. Nothing wrong with that. In Hinduism, it's full spectrum, I say. All these approaches are entirely. So it's not cosmic suicide because cosmos will still appear.
But I, as an individual
You will become a reappear means you will be you appearing. You will realize yourself as a limitless being, and this individual will appear as long as the prarabdha of this individual is there. But you will see, I'm not limited to this individual. I am the one reality behind all individuals. They arise and disappear in me. Instead of continuing as a wave, instead of even continuing as ocean, you will see I am water in which the wave and the ocean both appear and disappear. Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's end here, and we will discuss outside. We'll take it up. I'm sorry for those who were standing for such a long time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We now invite Professor James Gomes to give the vote of thanks.
First of all, it's really our honor and privilege to have with us Swami Sarvapriyananda. It has been one of our dreams to have him here, and he has, in his very busy schedule, he has consented to be here for this, short period with us. I don't know how else to say these words, but really we are honored to have and privileged to have him here. And I would also like to thank all the students who are from the NRCVE, the Institute, IIT Delhi, and also the Department of NRCVE, who have actually made this whole thing instrumental. The students and the faculty, two of the faculty who were there associated, Keshav and Soumya, who have done a lot of work. Ravi, Saurav, Rahul, and also Sangeeta, who have actually been in the background helping us. The head of the department, Kanika Bell, and Bhupinder, and all the people who are here. Also people from INA who have actually been volunteering and taking care of a few things. So thank you very much, and thank you, all of you, for coming here on a Sunday afternoon, morning, and being here to actually listen to Swamiji, and being here to listen to these wise words. Thank you very much. And one thing I would like to say is that, we'd like to have, some privacy, so please, let us, move out first, and then we'll kind of talk to you later on about this. Thank you very much.